Okay, we're here today to sort of look at the difference between John Coltrane's Ole. There's a couple of different versions on vinyl. There's actually a third version which I don't own that's from Music Matters, and the price point falls somewhere in between the two of these versions. The version here on the left is what we call the audiophile version. And as you can see, as with a lot of the $50 audiophile records, they've put them in this sort of loose plastic here. You can always sort of recognize those that way. And this one I've had for a while, so I've actually got it in a sleeve from SleeveCityUSA.com. This was $12.99. It's a single disc, $50. Actually, I got it on sale for $33, but generally about $50 if you can find this online. And it's two discs. It's actually two records here, and it's cut at 45 RPM. So you'd have to change your settings on your turntable to 45 RPM in order to hear it correctly. So we're going to just kind of take a look at this. Let me get this unwrapped here. It's going to take both hands, I believe. Just a moment. Okay, so now I don't know if this actually comes across on the video or not, but the one on the left is actually a little bit different shade of orange and yellow than the one on the right. I couldn't tell you which is more accurate according to the original release. But anyways, the audiophile version from, I believe it's from ORG Productions, is a little bit more elaborate. As you can see, it's a gatefold cover. The back reproduces, I guess, the orange. I would expect that's probably the way the original was. A lot of these labels that do the audiophile pressings really go to great lengths to reproduce, everything as accurately as possible. However, this $12.99 version, it's obviously licensed. As you can see here, it's got the original Atlantic tag here, or logo. Copyright information down here. So and one thing that you have to look out for that I've found are some really inexpensive records that they're selling at half-price books, a lot of jazz and things like that. If you see those at a price point around $12, $13 at half-price books, those are generally European gray market imports. But that doesn't really apply here to either one of these. The gray market imports are public domain over in Europe. So sometimes they're sourced from a CD. I don't know what this is sourced from. Could be a digital file. I thought it sounded great. This one is sounds like it's sourced from the original master tapes. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean we're actually going to clean this disc here. This one's been cleaned, so I'm going to run it through the VPI, and then we'll take a look at the difference, or listen to the difference. Okay, I've got side one cleaned here on the VPI 16.5. If you're at all serious about records, I'd definitely recommend getting some kind of cleaning apparatus. It could be something as inexpensive as a spin clean to something like this. This is kind of middle of the road. For the price, I'd say VPI's got a newer model coming out that's going to run around $1,000. It's supposed to be better than this, and then they have some other models that are, I think, running around either $1,500 to $2,000. But I've actually never used any of those. But this has been working fine for me for about 1.5 years now, and especially on used records. I won't go too much into the cleaning process, but even on new records, I'll generally use the AIVS Premium One-Step formula number 6. You can order that online, places like Elusive Disc. And then, of course, I do a rinse. Generally, I just use distilled water, and I wouldn't use tap water or anything like that. But yeah, always clean your new records. That's a tip. Okay, so no matter what sort of sleeve, the records I buy come in, and some of them really aren't bad at all. Like, in fact, the one that was on the Ole today was, in fact, this paper sleeve, which, had this plastic lining in it. It's really not a bad sleeve at all, but I'm probably just going to toss it or just save it for, maybe an emergency use later on. But I replace everything with these disc keeper sleeves from, again, from Sleeve City, USA.com. And once I clean a new record with VPI, if it's not going directly on the turntable, I just slide it into here for storage later, after the record's been dried sufficiently, of course. Okay, so here's side 1 of Ole by John Coltrane. This is the 33 RPM disc, the lower priced record, which I think I picked up for about $13 up at the record store. It is fully licensed, like I said, from Atlantic. So I usually just kind of brush off the record like so to get any sort of lint or cat hair. As you can see, I'll take it off the record. And I've got another brush here, which is supposed to reduce static. I don't really know how well that works, but we've got one. Let's see. Other than that, the interesting thing is this entire side here, side 1, is the entire side is the song Ole, whereas on the 45 RPM version, which we'll listen to in a moment, that entire side 1 is Ole Part 1, and the reverse side 2 is Ole Part 2. It's sort of reminiscent of the old Laserdisc, CAV discs, where there was a side change, maybe at kind of an inappropriate time, but you got a higher quality picture sometimes, or it was you could freeze frame or things like that. But I'm digressing now and thinking about the old school Laserdisc days. I'll just kind of say one more thing. Some of these audiophile pressings, these 45 RPM pressings, kind of remind me of the old Criterion Laserdiscs in a way too. I'm about to kill this cat. She's like getting into everything. But not really. No, not harming the cat. But anyways, yeah, so they sort of, you could go out and buy just a basic edition Laserdisc, or, Criterion might come out with, a really, entrenched version of that with special features and things, and something that's really densely packed, and it takes days to go through. Not quite the same as far as the special features go with these 45 RPMs, but she's never done this before. Get him. Get him. All right, so enough about Laserdiscs. Let's take a listen to this. We'll listen to a few minutes of it, and then we'll switch over to the 45 RPM. By the way, this is an MMF5. I've got an Audiophile blue on it. Let's see. As far as my preamp goes, I have a Luxman C12, kind of an older preamp, and right now I've got one Hafler amplifier, and these speakers here are some recapped Avid speakers. pretty old from the 70s. I kind of like them though. They're kind of crispy sounding. So, but you know, as with anything in this hobby, everything's constantly being upgraded and switched out. Okay, so now here's the 45 RPM edition. See if we can get that in focus there. Not really. Okay, so why 45 RPM? I don't know if you can tell from this, but there's really no inner grooves. It's supposed to reduce inner groove distortion for one thing, and thus, make the record sound better. Of course, it's a trade-off. You've got four sides, 2 records and 4 sides. So let's see if we can hear any difference. I'm not really sure that we can over YouTube, but I will say that when I listened to a more recent edition of Blue Train in mono, it was an audiophile edition, although it was only at 33 RPM. It was like hearing it for the first time. So let's see if I get my socks knocked off from this. Okay, so in conclusion, I think that the 45 RPM version to me sounded richer, it sounded fuller, more dynamics. It was punchier in places, but in no means at all do I think that this is a bad recording. Like I said, I don't know if it's sourced from digital. I thought the surface noise was quite a bit less in the beginning on this one as compared to the 45. But as we got into the music, the actual music itself sounded a lot better with the 45. Is it worth it? Having to change records. I mean, that's just kind of up to you to decide. I don't know that I'm going to keep both of them. I'm probably going to end up giving this one to my mother. I didn't think it was as big of a dramatic moment for me to hear it on 45 as opposed to hearing the new mono Blue Train a few weeks ago. That was just kind of a real eye-opening moment for me. However, this is a great sounding record. It's really just kind of up to you. I probably wouldn't have spent $50 on it, but since I found it for 33, it's worth it to me. Thanks a lot.